This assassin comes out of retirement to save a boy from gangsters who kidnap him. But his action reveals his true personality, striking fear into those who underestimated him. Who is he? And what is he hiding in his past? Let's all find out. Hello, welcome back to I Am Movies. The movie begins in Granite City 50 years ago. There were two twin brothers, Samaritan and Nemesis. They had extraordinary powers that made people fear them. People even set their houses on fire. But the brothers survived because of their unique abilities. Tragically, their parents perished in the fire. This life-altering event had opposite effects on the brothers. Samaritan felt responsible for his parents' death and dedicated his life to helping others, becoming a force for good. However, Nemesis blamed the world for his parents' demise and chose a path of spreading evil, taking the lives of innocent people whenever he could. Samaritan consistently tried to stop Nemesis, leading to confrontations between them. To eliminate his brother, Nemesis crafted a powerful hammer capable of ending both their lives. One day, Nemesis set fire to a power plant, endangering many lives. Samaritan rushed to save the people, sparking a final destructive battle between the two brothers. The intense showdown resulted in a massive explosion, and it was widely believed that both brothers perished in that fiery blast. But the story doesn't end there. Many believe that Samaritan survived the explosion and opted to live in secrecy. Their belief is bolstered by the fact that the police only discovered a burnt corpse wearing Nemesis's mask in the aftermath of the fire incident. The mystery and uncertainty continue. 25 years later, a 13-year-old boy named Sam, who's a big fan of Samaritan, lives in a small apartment with his mother, Tiffany. Her mom doesn't make that much money and borrows $5 from Sam to take the bus. She then tells Sam to take out the garbage and goes to work. When Sam goes outside to throw the trash, he finds a symbol of a nemesis. Sam uses spray paint to cover up Nemesis's symbol with Samaritan's symbol. After a while, a man named Joe Smith who lives in the apartment next door shows up and throws his trash. Sam hides behind the trash can. Joe then took a broken fan out of the garbage and went back home. Joe is a single guy who lives alone and works in a job that cleans up garbage. He also fixes broken stuff he finds in the trash and sells it at a store. The next day, Sam comes home from school and finds out that the landlord has locked their apartment because his mom didn't pay the rent. Sam is worried and goes to the park. Joe is on his way home from work with a broken radio, and Sam goes up to him and asks about the radio. Joe says it doesn't work. Sam asks why he has a broken radio, and Joe responds back why Sam's wearing a broken watch and walks off. Soon, one of Sam's friends, Jace, approaches him and offers an opportunity to make some money. Sam agrees and accompanies his friend to an old house with the intention of stealing copper coils to sell for $40. While they are selling the stolen copper coils, a group of young gang arrives. Reza, one of the members, asks Jace and Sam to assist in robbing a store in the coastal area. Jace refuses, but Sam agrees to the plan. Inside the store, Sam pretends to be injured, causing the owner to rush to his aid. While the owner is distracted, Reza and his accomplices steal some boxes and make their escape. Upon opening the stolen boxes at a scrapyard, they discover that they've taken the wrong loot, boxes full of potato chips. In an attempt to deflect blame, Reza accuses Sam of taking the wrong boxes, even though Sam insists he followed their instructions. A heated argument ensues, with Reza shoving Sam to the ground. Soon Cyrus, the leader of the gang, and his girlfriend Syl arrive. Cyrus is an avid fan of Nemesis and controls a group of thieves and robbers. Cyrus intervenes, inquiring about Sam's age. Sam reveals he's only 13, which piques Cyrus's interest. Cyrus gives Sam $200 and chastises Reza, while Syl tells Sam that Cyrus has taken a liking to him. Later, Sam returns to his apartment and finds his mother, Tiffany, embroiled in an argument with their landlord over unpaid rent. Sam promptly hands over the money he received from Cyrus to settle their debts and regain access to their home. Once inside, Tiffany, concerned about where Sam got the money, questions him. Fearing he might have stolen it, Sam desperately tries to reassure his mother that he obtained the money by selling some copper he found on the roadside. The following day, Reza and his gang unexpectedly launch an attack on Sam, seeking revenge for the botched robbery. Threatening Sam to hand over the money provided by Cyrus the day before, they make it clear that they'll resort to violence if he refuses. Left with no choice, Sam makes a hasty escape, sprinting away from their pursuers. In the apartment complex courtyard, he nearly faces a brutal beating at the hands of Reza and his cohorts. Fortunately, Joe happens to be in the vicinity and intervenes, effortlessly defeating the attackers and even catching Reza's knife without a scratch on his hand. Sam picked up the knife and was shocked to see it was bent. This hints to Sam that Joe is Samaritan. That afternoon, Sam quickly goes to his room and uses his binoculars, discreetly observes Joe, and notices burn marks on Joe's back. The realization dawns upon Sam that Joe is, in fact, Samaritan. Subsequently, Cyrus, Syl, and their gang disguise themselves as police officers and infiltrate the police evidence locker. The guard asks for identification, but Cyrus swiftly eliminates him with a grenade. The group gains access to the secure vault, where Cyrus stumbles upon the helmets of both Nemesis and Samaritan, as well as Nemesis's powerful hammer. He uses the hammer to break open a door, experiencing its incredible might. Sam continues to trail Joe, observing his every move. Joe implores him to stop the pursuit. Undeterred, Sam enters Joe's home through a window and uncovers a file filled with newspaper clippings detailing Samaritan's heroic feats. Sam brings the file back to their house and keeps it under his bed. When Joe returns home and realizes the file is missing, he becomes aware that Sam is responsible. Concerned, he goes to Sam's home and informs Tiffany, who urges Sam to return the file. Sam complies, and overwhelmed with his fanboy emotions, returns the file. Tiffany apologizes for the intrusion while Sam says he's a big fan of Samaritan. The next day, Sam confronts Joe, questioning if he is indeed Samaritan. Joe, downplaying his identity, claims to be nothing more than a fan like Sam. He then walks onto the road, where a sudden, tragic incident unfolds. Reza and his friends arrive, hitting Joe with their car, leaving him severely injured and seemingly lifeless. Sam, deeply distressed, rushes to Joe's side and mourns his apparent death. But miraculously, Joe's body heals, and he regains consciousness, stunning Sam, who exclaims that he already knows Joe is Samaritan. Weak and in need of sustenance, Joe requests water, then retreats to his home for a freezing cold shower and some ice cream. Sam is baffled by the choice of dessert, prompting Joe to explain that his body overheats when he's injured, and without cooling it down, his heart could explode. Sam inquires if this is what caused Nemesis's demise, but Joe implores him to cease discussing Nemesis. Meanwhile, Cyrus initiates a plan to create chaos in the city center by detonating multiple shops with blackout bombs. Following the destruction, he rallies the disaffected city residents in an alley, proclaiming a new revolution to empower the marginalized. The crowd passionately supports his cause, having grown disillusioned with a neglectful city government. Then Sam, who having recently begun shadowing Joe and asking probing questions about their pasts, continues to press Joe like a persistent reporter. Initially uncomfortable with Sam's relentless curiosity, Joe gradually warms to the boy's presence in his life and begins to share the struggles of his aging body. On the eve of parting ways, Joe offers to repair Sam's broken watch. The next day, Joe watches the news on TV, which reports incidents of rioting and looting perpetrated by an individual donning a Nemesis mask. He is taken aback and filled with anger because someone is masquerading as Nemesis and committing crimes throughout the city. In the afternoon, Sam approaches Joe, requesting his guidance in learning self-defense and combat skills. After Sam returns from school, Joe takes him to the apartment's rooftop, and they practice various moves together. Sam impresses Joe with his agility, but Joe recognizes that Sam needs to build his courage and physical strength. As their training session concludes, Sam attempts to strike Joe but ends up injuring himself due to Joe's remarkable resilience. While Sam tends to his bruises with some of Joe's ice, he brings up the topic of Nemesis's death, which unfortunately angers Joe and leaves him feeling offended. He instructs Sam to return to his own home. On the next day, Cyrus returned to Sam with a lucrative job offer, assigning Sam to stand guard and whistle as a signal when the police approached. As Cyrus proceeds with his unlawful activities, such as bribing corrupt officers and eliminating those who oppose him, Sam becomes increasingly fearful. He contemplates leaving the dangerous situation, but stumbles upon Jace, who is being assaulted by Reza and his gang. Sam intervenes to save Jace, enduring a brutal beating in the process. That evening, the group transports the unconscious Sam to the apartment courtyard. Reza is taken aback when he realizes the old man he had struck earlier, Joe, is unharmed. Joe rushes Sam to the hospital, explaining the situation to Tiffany. Elsewhere, Reza informs Cyrus about Joe's extraordinary abilities, piquing Cyrus's interest and leading him to order Joe's capture. On the next day, Farshad and Cyrus's gang secretly tail Joe, but Joe becomes aware of their pursuit and lures them into a narrow alley. He warns them, giving them a chance to reconsider, but they underestimate him, leading to an inevitable confrontation. Despite facing multiple adversaries, Joe emerges victorious. When Farshad attempts to detonate a blackout bomb, Joe rescues a girl on the brink of peril, with the heroic act caught on numerous residents' cell phone cameras, nearly exposing his true identity as a superhero. The media begins reporting on the reappearance of Samaritan in Granite City, drawing parallels with the past appearance of Nemesis. Joe, desiring to leave his dark life behind, plans to depart the city. However, minutes before his departure, Sam approaches Joe and reveals that Cyrus is plotting to bomb the town's power plant. Sam pleads with Joe to join forces and thwart Cyrus, as he believes Joe is the only one capable of stopping him. Regrettably, Joe refuses and promptly ushers Sam out of his apartment. The next morning, Sam sneaks back into Joe's house to retrieve his watch left with him. Simultaneously, Cyrus and his men arrive at Joe's apartment. Sam rushes home to alert his mother about Cyrus's presence. Unfortunately, Cyrus sees him and his gang reach Sam's apartment before they can escape. Cyrus seizes Sam, planning to use him as bait to lure Joe to their headquarters. In the evening, Cyrus, his men, and the city's thugs incite riots by destroying shops and public property as a protest against the government. The police force is deployed to maintain order, prompting some residents to flee or relocate to another city, a choice Joe has made, waiting for a train to depart. However, an alarm from Sam's watch accidentally brought with him halts Joe's departure, leading him to return the watch to Sam. Upon reaching Sam's apartment, Joe discovers the chaotic scene and encounters Tiffany, who is injured from an altercation with Cyrus's men. Meanwhile, Cyrus and his gang prepare to execute their plan, planting blackout bombs throughout the city. Joe, using his garbage truck, strikes their group with force, then forces his way into Cyrus's headquarters. An epic battle ensues as Joe confronts the group. Upon meeting Cyrus, Joe proposes a deal. He'll free Sam in exchange for a one-on-one duel. Cyrus, intent on humiliating Samaritan before the public, rejects the offer. This prompts Joe to reveal a shocking truth: his true identity as Nemesis, the criminal once feared by the city's residents. Cyrus, astounded, struggles to believe that the man before him is Nemesis, the person he has idolized. Following Joe's revelation, a massive explosion erupts from Joe's garbage truck, leading to the demise of most of Cyrus's men. In the aftermath, Cyrus and Farshad seize Sam, heading into their base to activate the blackout bombs planted throughout the city. Meanwhile, Joe continues his brutal fight against Cyrus's remaining men, even going so far as to eliminate those attempting to escape via the elevator. In his relentless pursuit, Joe confronts and dispatches Farshad using a blackout bomb Farshad was carrying. Amidst the intense battle, Joe eventually locates Sam, trapped in a fire. Just as he moves to rescue Sam, Cyrus appears, donning a Nemesis mask, and strikes Joe with Nemesis's iron hammer. In a critical moment, Sam seizes an opportunity to attack Cyrus, allowing Joe to strike from behind and hurl him into the flames. With Cyrus defeated, Joe leads Sam to leap to an adjacent building to evade an imminent explosion. He then admits his true identity as Nemesis, a character previously seen as a criminal in the city. Driven by guilt following Samaritan's death, Joe wishes to live quietly in seclusion and enlists Sam's help in rehabilitating Nemesis's reputation. Joe imparts a lesson that every person has both good and bad within them, but the choice of which path to follow remains with the individual. As the media reporters converge on the scene, Joe makes a swift exit, leaving Sam behind. Facing the reporters, Sam claims that Samaritan rescued him and asserts that Samaritan still exists. Joe, now away from the spotlight, shares a smile with Sam in the crowd as he starts to walk off in the other direction of the bridge. And the movie ends here. Don't forget to hit that like button, share this recap, and subscribe to stay updated for the next one. Until next time.